It's your turn, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Credit, good and bad. What is credit card called MasterCard? Explain the difference between good credit and bad credit. What is the difference? What are the consequences?
Okay, very good. Do you guys know what MasterCard is? I might have a MasterCard on. I'm not sure. Because I'm mostly Visa, but I might have a MasterCard. Let's see. Ah, yeah, this is MasterCard. It's a credit card, right? This is a MasterCard. Looks like this. I'll put one up on the internet. It has this little logo. Have you seen this one? No, it's no. Looks like this, right? Let me put it up on the internet so you can see it. So it's a credit card company. Let's see. Oh, it's a payment processing company. Okay. This is it. Okay, it looks like this. Okay. It's a type of credit card. Okay, MasterCard. Do you know why it's called a MasterCard? No? Anybody know? Because when you buy something that you don't need on credit, like an expensive car, a Rolex watch, $10,000 woman's handbag, when you buy something on credit that you don't need, they become your master, you become their slave. True or not true? It's true. It's true. Okay. So you have to be careful with that. Okay. Okay. And they're looking for slaves. Okay. That's why they give you all these offers to sign up for this credit card, sign up for that credit card, right? And you think, boy, I must have good credit. That's why they keep asking me to sign up for these different credit cards, promotions. No, they're looking for slaves. They're looking for slaves, okay? That's what it is. Well, then your money, you buy stuff you don't need, and then you become our slave, like that, okay? So, okay, anyway, but I do want to talk about the difference between good credit and bad credit, okay? Let's start by talking about bad credit. Let's say you buy, I went a few months ago, I went to a Lexus dealer to get a new car with my wife, and they had this gorgeous Lexus, beautiful, one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen in my life. Actually, they had two different types, and they were asking $140,000 for that car. Okay, so let's say, and I told my wife, let's buy it, and she went to look at it and said no. Okay, and so let's say we had bought the car. Okay, is that car going to go appreciate or depreciate over time?
Depreciate.
It's going to depreciate, right? It's going to go down in value, right? So let's say we're not going to pay for the car cash, right? But we buy the car and we're going to make monthly payments, right? Monthly payment on the car. But the value of the car is going to depreciate, right? So would that be an example of good credit or bad credit? Bad credit, right? That's a bad idea, right? Because we're going to borrow the money and we're going to make a monthly payment, and then the car is just going to decline in value, right? Yeah, of course. Same with most things, right? Your furniture, clothing, a lot of stuff. Okay, so when you buy those things on credit, those are examples of bad credit. Right? So actually, sometimes when you see people driving these very expensive cars on the freeway, it looks nice, but they're broke. Okay, okay? They turn themselves into debt slips. I have a student. He doesn't have a regular job. He doesn't have any money, and he bought a big expensive truck, and his monthly payment is $700 a month. Okay, he's working like a dog to pay for this stupid truck. Okay, that's bad credit. Do you think the value of the truck is going to go up or down? It's going to go down. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. That's bad credit. Okay? Okay, now, next I want to talk about examples of good credit. Some credit can be good. Okay? And let's start with education. Right now, the average American student has a student loan debt in the neighborhood of $38,000, okay, which is a lot. It's a lot of money, okay? But their idea is that with that education, with that degree, they're going to be able to apply for better jobs and get better jobs and make more money, and then they can pay off the debt. Now, it depends on the person, right? It depends on the results, but it can work, okay? So, there are doctors who have borrowed up to $200,000 to become doctors, okay? But how much does the average doctor make in California? Any idea? About $20,000 per month, okay? So that's about $250,000 a year, okay? So let me tell you what their calculation is. Let's say you went to medical school and you borrowed $200,000, okay? And this is just a regular doctor, not a specialist. So you went to medical school, you borrowed $200,000, and you graduate, right? You get your degree, you graduate, and you start working, and let's say you're making about $20,000 a month, right? Okay, so they're not going to be able to keep the 200,000. I mean, so let's do 20,000 a month. Oops, this is 20,000 a month times 12 months. So they're making 240,000 a year, but they're in a high income tax bracket. Okay, so we multiply it by 0.75. So their take home $108,000, which is very good money. And let's say they spend $50,000 a year on rent, food, utilities, transportation, blah blah. Is that okay? 50,000 a year is okay? Okay. So let's subtract $50,000. So they can save $130,000 in 1 year, right? But we know that they borrowed $200,000 to get to medical school, right? How long will it take them to pay off the $200,000? Less than 2 years. And then once they pay off the student loan debt, from that point forward, it's all gravy, right? The $30,000 a year is all gravy, right? After 2 years, maybe less than 2 years. That's their strategy. That's why they borrow that kind of money, and that's why the average college student in the United States has a student loan debt of about $38,000 because that's their strategy. Okay, I spent 10 years at UCLA. I got a bachelor's cum laude. I got a master's in Latin American Studies. I applied Portuguese, and I got an MBA. And when I finished 10 years at UCLA, I owed about $20,000. Okay, how long do you think it took me to? But then with the MBA, I was able to get a good job. Okay, how long do you think it took me to pay off the $20,000? Less than 2 years, right? Less than 2 years. Right? See, I'm not a doctor, right? So I couldn't make $20,000 a month as an MBA, but less than 2 years, right? I paid off, and then from that point forward, it was all great, right? So that's an example of good credit, right? Sometimes it works. Oftentimes it works. A college education MBA, if it helps you to land a well-paying job, your payback will be very rapid, very quick, as opposed to, okay, I don't have education, I've worked for minimum wage, and I've worked for minimum wage the rest of my life. Okay, it can be better. It can be a good example of good credit. Okay, the other example of good credit is a mortgage, buying a home. Some people say, no, don't buy a home. It's too much money. It's too much trouble. Blah blah. Okay, maybe so. But we know that if you look at the data, we know that homes in California have been appreciating at the rate of about 8% a year, every year for decades. Okay, at least 1950, maybe beyond 1950. Every one home, your typical home in California has gone up every year 8%, which is very good. How much are the banks paying right now? You invest your money in a bank, you get nothing, right? You invest your in T-bills, I think they're paying 3.5%. There's nothing out there. Maybe 4% in stocks or something, right? A home is going to give you 8%. Okay, so if you buy a home, right, and which is it's a kind of investment, and it gives you 8%. Uh, the median home price in Orange County is $1 million. So that means that that one home in 1 year will produce $80,000, right? If it's $2 million home, it's going in 1 year it's going to produce $160,000. Okay, is that a good investment? That's a very good investment. That's the best investment. In fact, once you get, even let's say you can let's do a $400,000 property in Riverside. Okay, in Riverside there's some pretty nice properties. Let's say decent properties for $400,000 times 0.08 for the 8%. So these are probably the least expensive homes in Riverside County. The least expensive homes in Riverside County will produce for you $32,000 a year gain, year over year. Okay, so if that house is producing $32,000 a year for you, you probably don't have to work anymore, right? As long as you can make the mortgage and your food and your utilities and your transportation somehow, you don't have to work because that money will drop into your account, and someday you'll sell it, and you'll have the money in your hands, and you move to Brazil or Vietnam or Nigeria or Mexico or somewhere else. He's from Brasileiro? He told me he was from Nigeria. Oh, é brasileiro. É brasileiro. Oh, but okay. So that's those are examples of good credit. Good credit. Okay. So okay. And the main idea here is I want you to distinguish between good credit and bad credit, because bad credit will depreciate you and good credit will increase your net worth. That's basically the idea. Okay? Let's see. Let's go to the next slide. Oh, this is